Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, um, but instead of that jarring digital beep of an alarm clock, right, or your phone buzzing, you're pulled out of sleep by a sound that just feels prehistoric.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You open your eyes and you just hear the collective echoing morning howls of 7 massive, ancient Arctic sled dogs.
I mean, that really paints quite the picture.
Right.
For most people, a scene like that belongs in, a rugged wilderness documentary. But the sources we're exploring for this deep dive prove that this isn't a movie set. It's literally just a typical Tuesday morning.
Which is exactly why we're doing this deep dive for you today. You sent us this really fascinating stack of sources from a platform called Snovind Malamutes.
Yeah, and it's a massive amount of material.
It really is. It's a lifestyle platform, a highly detailed breed guide, and basically a daily journal all rolled into one. And our mission today is to unpack what it truly takes to live with, honor, and manage a full pack of Alaskan Malamutes.
And we are extracting some real-world wisdom here about responsible dog ownership, because this comes directly from Richard Tameley. He's the founder and lead trainer based in Skarpland, Sweden.
So we're not talking about abstract textbook theory here.
No, not at all. This is the daily reality of managing 7 incredibly powerful dogs. We're talking about orchestrating 7-kilometer forest trail runs and early morning ATV training sessions.
It's a logistical puzzle.
Exactly.
Well, before we meet the 7 specific dogs in Richard's pack, I think we really need to understand exactly what kind of animal we're dealing with, because people constantly misunderstand them.
Oh, absolutely. The visual confusion happens all the time.
Right. If you show someone a picture of an Alaskan Malamute, 9 times out of 10, they're going to point at it and go, oh, look, a big husky.
Yeah, which makes sense at a glance. But biologically and historically, they are entirely different animals built for entirely different purposes. The sources draw a very sharp line here.
Okay, so break that down for us.
Well, huskies were engineered primarily for speed and efficiency over light snow. They're lighter, they're faster, and designed to cover huge distances quickly.
Right, they kind of just glide.
Exactly. But Alaskan Malamutes, they were built for hauling heavy freight at very slow speeds in just brutal, punishing conditions.
So a husky is like a sports car built for racing. A Malamute is like a heavy-duty tractor trailer built for endurance.
That is the perfect analogy, and you see it in their physical build. Malamutes are significantly larger and heavier. We're talking males standing up to 66 centimeters and weighing up to 43 kilograms.
Wow, that's nearly 100 pounds.
Yeah, of pure muscle. And the females are right behind them, up to 38 kilograms.
That is massive.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this specific, really fascinating physical distinction from the sources that caught my eye. A way to tell them apart instantly.
Ah, yes, the eyes.
Yeah.
It's a very strict genetic trait. Alaskan Malamutes always have brown eyes.
Oh, well.
Always. The shades of brown can vary, but they are never blue. Huskies, on the other hand, can totally have those piercing, icy blue eyes that people associate with sled dogs. So if you see blue eyes, you are definitely not looking at a purebred Malamute.
That is such a cool detail. But I want to dig into their heritage a bit, because they are one of the oldest Arctic sled dog breeds in the world, right?
They are. They were originally bred by the Malamute Inuit people, and they've been utilized throughout history from the Klondike Gold Rush all the way to World War II.
Which explains their physical and mental demands. The guide mentions they need 1 to 2 hours of vigorous exercise daily. Plus, they have a lifespan of 10 to 14 years.
Yeah, and don't forget the fur. They experience 2 major coat blowouts per year.
Oh, right, where you basically have to brush them 2 to 3 times a week just to manage the sheer volume of fur coming off
That's
them.
a massive commitment.
So, given this intense physical history of hauling freight, what does this actually mean for an everyday person trying to keep one of these dogs in a modern home?
Well, that history is exactly why they behave the way they do today. Because they are a heavy freight pack animal, they are incredibly affectionate and loyal family dogs. But, and this is a big but, they are notoriously strong-willed and independent.
Because they had to be, right, to survive.
Exactly. If the ice was thin, they needed the intelligence to disobey a musher's command to save the team. And that's exactly why Richard honors their heritage through those highly structured ATV training runs rather than just casual walks around the block. They need a job.
Knowing that these dogs require massive amounts of exercise and they're deeply pack-oriented, the natural question for me is, how do you safely and happily manage 7 of these tractor trailers at once?
It's an art form. And that brings us to the specific structure of the Snowind pack. Richard runs them in highly specialized teams on the trail.
Yeah, let's break down the mechanics of that.
Okay, so at the very front, you have Team 1, and that is just Luna running completely solo as the lead dog.
Wow, running solo in the front sounds like a lot of pressure.
It is. She's described as a winter walk warrior and a curious inspector. She sets the psychological tone for the entire run.
Okay, so Luna is the navigator. Who comes next?
Next is Team 2, which is Oden and Angel. They both recently turned 3 years old, and they represent perfect balance on the line.
How so?
Well, Oden brings the raw power and the intense focus. He's the muscle. But Angel brings this incredibly loving, joyful energy. She balances out his intensity.
That makes total sense. And then bringing up the rear, we have Team 3, which is actually a trio, right?
Right. You have Thor and Zara, who are the reliable, experienced anchors of the pack. They set the pace, and running with them is Pella.
The youngest one.
Exactly. Pella is the proud and determined youngest member, so she learns the ropes just by running alongside the veterans.
Okay, wait, let's unpack this for a second. Let me do the math here. You mentioned 7 dogs earlier, but counting the teams on the trail, Luna, Oden, Angel, Thor, Zara, Pella, that's only 6 dogs. Who is missing?
Yes. The 7th dog. This is perhaps my favorite part of the entire Snowind story.
Oh, really?
Yeah. His name is Lokie. Within the pack, he's known as the Legend and the King of Howls.
The King of Howls. I love that. So why isn't he on the team?
Well, Loki suffered a paw injury, and because of that, he can no longer safely endure the physical strain of pulling a sled in a heavy harness.
Oh, no. So what do? Do they just leave him at home while the rest of his family goes out for 2 hours?
No, and that's the beauty of it. Leaving him behind would destroy his spirit. Instead of just leaving him out, Richard adapted to Loki's needs. Loki is now what they call a free runner.
Wait, really? He just runs loose?
He runs entirely off lead alongside all 3 teams. It keeps his unstoppable spirit alive.
But isn't that a massive flight risk with the Malamute?
Usually, yes.
Yeah.
But this connects deeply to Snowind's core values. Every decision centers on the health, happiness, and well-being of the dogs. Loki's bond with his pack is so strong that he stays right beside them. He gets to participate without the weight of the sled.
That is unbelievable. Now, it just shows that managing a multi-dog household of this magnitude isn't just about beautiful, snowy trail runs, you know. It requires immense practical discipline.
Oh, discipline is the absolute foundation of everything they do.
Which brings us to a massive resource Richard has created for other people trying to do this. He distilled his daily experience into the complete Alaskan Malamute Owner's Guide.
And it is comprehensive. It's 12 chapters long, and it's completely free for their members.
Yeah, and the sources explicitly note that this is not just copied and pasted from generic breed websites. This is forged from actual daily life in Sweden.
Exactly. The chapters are incredibly detailed. You've got sections on the first 30 days, navigating multi-dog households and living in different climates.
I was really impressed by the nutrition science chapter.
Right, with actual feeding tables based on exertion levels,
Mm.
plus a whole section on health and emergency vet protocols.
But the part that really stood out to me is the section focused on honest warnings.
Ah, yes. The warnings.
He explicitly warns potential owners about their extremely high prey drive, their tendency to be escape artists, and that stubborn independence we talked about earlier.
He does not hold back.
No, he doesn't. Looking at these chapter titles and the honest warnings, this sounds less like a standard pet care pamphlet and more like an intense survival manual for a very fluffy, stubborn expedition.
That's a great way to put it.
So is he trying to scare people away from the breed with all these warnings about escape artistry and prey drive?
Oh, well, you have to reframe how you look at it. He isn't trying to scare people. He's actually practicing the highest form of breed advocacy.
How so?
By being radically transparent about the difficulties, Richard ensures that these dogs only go to prepared homes. Snowind's entire mission is education. It's about transforming the challenges of a stubborn, high-energy breed into unforgettable adventures built on loyalty and trust.
So he's actively preventing dogs from ending up in shelters because people just thought they looked cute on the internet.
Precisely. And he backs it up with a wider community platform. They have blog posts documenting their runs under the Northern Lights.
Which sound amazing, by the way.
They really do. And there's a pack-tested gear store, lots of YouTube videos showing the actual training, a Ko-Fi support page, and this whole global community feed.
It's an entire ecosystem of support. So as we pull all these sources together, what does this all really mean for you, the listener? Snowind Malamutes shows us that engaging with a breed like the Alaskan Malamute isn't just about owning a pet.
No, it's about adopting a lifestyle.
Exactly. It requires patience, consistency, positive reinforcement, and a real willingness to meet the dog where its ancient instincts lie.
You can't just fight their nature, you have to work with it.
Right. Which leaves me with a final kind of lingering thought I want you to mull over today. Think about the story of Lokie, the free runner.
Yeah, the King of Howls.
If we look at our own lives, our careers, or even our relationships, when someone or something we care about gets injured or they just can no longer pull the heavy weight they used to,
That's a really deep parallel.
do we force them to stay in the harness or do we adapt? Do we find a new way for them to run free alongside the pack?
That is a brilliant way to look at it. Just completely changing the paradigm to honor where they are at now.
Right. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the sources today. We hope it gave you some amazing insight into this incredible breed. Keep exploring the world around you, and we'll catch you next time.